talking about series and how to create a series. So to start, you're going to want to fold your paper in half like a hamburger, crease at the fold, open it back up and fold it like a hot dog, and then crease at your fold. Open it back up, and then using your marker or pencil, go ahead and trace over your folded lines. And this is going to give you 4 sections. So a series is when you take something and you create the same thing again and again to create multiple versions of that. So it might change a little bit. So this is inspired by Andy Warhol. And so in his series, he often changed the colors. And so that's what we're going to focus on, changing the colors and possibly some of the designs in our picture. The goal, though, is to make each design look the same. So if you're not comfortable drawing with a Sharpie, I would recommend drawing in pencil first. To save time, I'm just going to use the Sharpie. So I'm going to start with something really simple. I'm actually going to make ice cream cones. And so to start, I want to create a wavy line. And I want to count those to make sure I match on each one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So I want to draw the same thing. And the goal is to try to make it match as much as possible. Okay, now I'm going to take my Sharpie and draw a triangle coming from my wavy lines. So I'm creating ice cream for my series. I feel like ice cream comes in lots of different colors and flavors. All right, so then I'm gonna just use a rainbow line. And connect my wavy line to get the top of my ice cream. And if I want to make it look like it's in a waffle cone, I'm gonna draw diagonal lines one way. So I wanna count to make sure I'm matching. 5, so I gotta draw 5 lines on the same direction on each of my cones. Because we want to match it as much as possible. So I got to draw my lines going the other way. And make sure you're counting so that you're trying to match these as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is change up each of my ice cream cones just a little bit in case some of you maybe don't have coloring materials. So I want to show you how you can get a little bit creative and still make them unique. So this ice cream cone is going to have a cherry on top. This one's going to have sprinkles. And then this one is going to have, let's do this. So we still have some of this symmetry and unity in our artwork, which just means that it's balanced. So things aren't too far off of each other. I'm actually gonna use sprinkles on this one too, because I still want to show that they're similar, but I'll change the colors. That way we're meeting a little bit of both sides. All right. So I have my sprinkles, I have my cherries, and then of course you could make the backgrounds different. If that could be a way to change up your series if you don't have color and you just have pencil or you're just using a black marker. So maybe this one, it's got some swirly lines in the background. Maybe over here, this one will have some polka dots. And then maybe over here, I have some stars. So again, this is a way to make your series, it's still a study of ice cream cones, but we're making each picture a little bit unique. So if you don't have coloring materials, you can always change up the background in each picture. All right, so now I have my stars, and then for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and just use some zigzag lines. Okay, so now that my series is done, so if you didn't have any coloring materials, this is really all you would need to do to just create that series. A series, again, is you're kind of creating the same thing again and again, or it's a study of that same object, but you kind of change it just a little bit each time. So whether it's the color or the background or something about the object. So now we want to add color to it, and we're going to use bright colors because Andy Warhol, this is Andy Warhol inspired, he used bright colors. So I'm actually going to create a purple cherry, and I'm going to do some opposites. So I'm going to make my cone purple over here. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a green cone over here. And green ice cream. Okay, then I want to use, I think blue. So I'm gonna make this a blue cone. And some blue ice cream. Of course, you can add some shading to your pieces, taking a darker version, so like a little bit of darker blue. Use that darker blue in the cone over here. Can do the same thing using a dark green. All right, so now I want to finish coloring these ones. So I'm gonna take a darker purple, and I'm just gonna shade that a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna use orange for this cone. And then I'm gonna use orange for the cherry. And I'm gonna find a little bit of a darker orange and just shade, just to give it a little bit more definition. And then I'm gonna use, I think I want to use pink. And I'll actually use pink for both ice creams, because I'm still changing the color of the cherry and I'm still changing the color of the cone. using a little red. I can add some shading. Repeat down here. Okay, and so you can see how this is just changing up my series. Every ice cream is a little bit different. The colors are pretty bright and vibrant. So I could keep going with this, do the same thing for my backgrounds, but I think you get the idea of how to create a series of something similar to Andy Warhol and mimicking that style, but still thinking about, you know, our limits as far as maybe we don't have paint at home or coloring materials and things like that. So again, you can still change up your backgrounds and just kind of change up. Maybe some ice creams have sprinkles, maybe some don't. You don't even have to do an ice cream cone. You could do apples, so different fruits, bananas, oranges. You could do vegetable studies. You could do soda cans and have each soda be a different flavor. You could do different flowers, so change it up that way. Or you could do the same flower, like tulips, for instance, are great because you could draw 4 tulips, but tulips are so colorful, so each tulip could be a different color. So there's lots of variations to this. I really just want you playing around with it, getting creative, and coming up with ways to study the same object or similar objects and then change them up somehow, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this lesson and that you're doing well. Take care. Bye.